Hi everybody, I got tired of playing with my own cards, so we're slamming 4 copies of Siphon Insight in here to play with our opponent's cards instead. Of course we're using 3 copies of Arcane Bombardment plus a little Chandra to get some value out of our early game spells and keep reusing them over the course of the game to just overwhelm our opponent. Let's go see some games with this deck on the ranked standard ladder. Alright. Apologies for the weird setup. I'm on vacation, and we're trying something with the iPad, so we're going to see how this works out. Loving our opponent's bear mascot over there. Hello, good sir. Alright, well, we're trying a, not Demir, Grixis, blue, red, and black Arcane Bombardment build. Just really wanted an excuse to play some Siphon Insight, because I love doing that. Great feeling when we can beat our opponent with their own stuff. Opponent looks to be on mono white here with early Thalia. That puts a huge crimp in all of our plans, so we're going to have to take a little bit of time here and deal with that. Savior of Olenbach. I believe that eats things out of the graveyard in addition to having kind of the Brutal Cathar ability to remove our stuff, but that's not as big of a threat as Thalia, so let's go ahead and play with fire that. A little more expensive, but this should allow us to set up for a big score here. Turn 4, great time to big score in a deck like this. Haven't seen a lot of the Savior. Kind of thought it would be better than it turned out to be, but Brutal Cathar really just sort of supplanted that one. Alright, come on opponent, what do we got going on here? Sun Gold Sentinel. Alright, so I'm sensing a theme here. I think our opponent has had enough of people recurring things out of the graveyard. So this could be a response to some of that. They're going to eat our play with fire, so that makes our future Arcane Bombardments worse. They follow that up with the Valiant Veteran. Going to pump up the team of soldiers there. We're only on the hook for 2 this turn, though, bringing us down to 16. It's a great window. Let's big score. We're going to discard Fading Hope. And we pick up a couple of lightning strikes. Was really hoping for a land there. But that's okay. We're going to take some time, burn down the house. We don't quite have bombardment yet. And burn down the house, plus these other spells should help us keep the board clear until we can draw something. It's always tricky in a deck like this, balancing the number of card draw spells with spells that keep the board clear. You can get into a place where you're just responding one-to-one to your opponent's stuff, and that's not where we want to be. So they've got an Intrepid Adversary, but nothing else. Definitely don't need to wipe it. We could just go ahead and take care of this now. Yep, let's go ahead and zap it. And we will hopefully draw into something a little more powerful. Ooh, Adeline for our opponent. Well, let's use Go for the Throat on that. Great way for our aggressive friends to build a board back up. Ooh, Siphon Insight. Alright, let's wait on that. Would just like the opportunity to respond. Alright, opponent not doing anything. Let's siphon some insight. See if we can beat him at their own game. Valiant Veteran or Reinforcements? I think we're going Reinforcements here. Gives us 2 bodies on the board. And I think we're just going to do Reinforcements now. We'll see if some of those cards they're holding on to are removal. Alright, if it is, it's not fast removal. Let's try to attack with these 2 creatures. Maybe an Aganjo? No? Okay. Well, it's not the most threatening stuff in the world, but, you know, if we start piecing things together from our opponent's deck, we can certainly make them better. Opponent's got reinforcements of their own. Alright, well, we're trying to give our opponent a little bit of the mirror match here. Brutal Cathar coming down for them. So probably the token, because then even if we remove the Cathar, they get nothing back. Although, okay, well they did take the token, I was just thinking that could have been dangerous if they took the reinforcements and we killed it. We killed the Cathar. They would get their own reinforcements back on their side. Well, it's not great, but we're going to take this Savior. And we've got a Lightning Strike here. Not much we need to strike at the moment, although the threat of that veteran in the grave is certainly something to think about. We're going to do Savior, gets nothing back. And no need to attack with this. Sometimes these buttons on the iPad are a little difficult to control. Another Cathar. All right. Well, what are you getting here? Okay. Well, to prevent them from getting this back when the Cathar eventually goes away, what we're going to do is zap the Cathar while the trigger's on the stack, and that way nothing happens. So it's important we do that before it goes under the Cathar, otherwise they get their own Savior back. Another Siphon Insight. So it's either wipe this board or Siphon Insight. Let's go ahead and discard the Insight. It's kind of a freebie since we get to flash it back. We get Jaya and a burn down the house. All right, let's do Jaya. We don't really need spells. Let's just try and fill up the board a little bit. Could try and pick up something like a adversary from our opponent's white deck. Build up a board of our own things. Pump it up. Try to outclass them. Ow, the Dawn Sky coming down. Not sure we have too many ways of exiling that, so we might just have to roll the dice and try to find some removal. Let's go Siphon Insight, though. Our opponent might have some exilable removal. A Brutal Cathar or something like that. Well, Thalia just hurts us more than it does them. Ah, Gix's Command. Okay. Alright, there's got to be a good way to do this here. We could do it on board wipe mode, and we would lose everything except the Stolen Savior, and then we'd just have to see what they put down with the Dawn Sky if they decide to get permanents. I think that's the way to go. This is a board wipe that keeps Jaya alive, so we can build our own board back up pretty easily. Okay. Dawn Sky's going to trigger. They're going to go looking for some permanents. Oh no, did they choose tokens? Oh, they might have. Oh no. Good game. Alrighty here. Doing some more iPad Arcane Bombardment here on Arena. We're going to keep this even though we have no blue. Blue is kind of like... Oh, there's some blue. Blue is one of the, I don't know, least present colors in this deck, you could say. We need it, just not until later. Siphon Insight, actually more of a late game card for us than an early game card. Kind of does nothing. We're going to bolt this bird here, take care of the Loam Speaker. Opponent looks to be on some red-green ramp of some variety. You never know what they're going to build up to, so might as well slow them down. Yep, there's a Gwenna. On theme for the ramp. Alright, let's go Marsh. So I'm kind of thinking we just need to get rid of this now. No sense in letting them untap, get the mana out of it. We do have a couple of Gix's commands that could be nice for making them sacrifice the eventual large thing they're probably going to play. We draw Kotose. Alright, well, not much we can do here. Let's use Into the Fire as kind of a card draw spell. We're going to toss back 3 of these things and keep a Gix's command. There we go. Now we got some business. Still can't deal with the Loam Speaker, but if I remember correctly, most of the big stuff happens around 7 mana. You get your Titans of Industry, your Itali. Alright, opponent's got a Thrun for us. Well, everything we have that takes care of Thrun, for the most part, is a sorcery speed spell, so we might just have to take a hit from Thrun here and build up a little bit more. We're going to discard Siphon Insight. It's got flashbacks. We can use it again. We pick up 2 Arcane Bombardments, but no lands, unfortunately. It's going to set us back just a little bit. We might have to take our time with this one and burn down the house a little bit earlier. Opponent's got a Howlpack Piper, which is fantastic in a deck like this. Luckily, it does not have haste, though. Well, what does have haste is this land, but I don't think we're going to be able to catch that in our board wipe. And so, unfortunately, we take 8 down to 12. And I think we're just going to have to slow play this one a little bit. Burn down the house now. Takes them back to 5 mana, maybe 6, and hopefully limits the stuff that they can do, at least the real nasty stuff. Alright, just a land from them. So 6 mana, no plays. We're going to do Bombardment for us. Auto pay. Now we do have a play with fire in hand, but I kind of want to wait until our opponent's turn to activate Bombardment with it. Alright, they're up to 7. Still no play. Wonder what they're holding on to over there. Let's go ahead and get an activation. We're going to play with fire at our opponent. Looks like we pick up a big score. I'm going to discard this other Siphon here. Could always pick one up with Bombardment later on anyway. And we'll put this land on the bottom. Don't need that. Trying to get a little more action. Ooh, there's a Chandra. So we could Chandra and add some mana and do some things. That seems good. If the opponent wasn't able to get rid of Bombardment, they're probably not going to be able to handle this Planeswalker. Let's give ourselves some mana here. And what we're going to do, we're going to double Impulse. So this is Impulse, I believe. We're going to take Siphon Insight. Right, so that was Impulse number 1. We got big score off of Bombardment. We'll just discard this other Siphon Insight. Pick up a Go for the Throat and a big score, and then the final Impulse. We'll just take another big score. Alright, well, big score, great thing to copy with Chandra. But we've got now plenty of mana thanks to the score that was under Bombardment, so that we can use Siphon Insight or another big score on our opponent's turn and activate Bombardment again. So they're going to try to bolt Chandra here. Only takes her down to 3. I wasn't really counting on her for the burn aspect, but that might be what they're worried about. And then Nahiri's Warcrafting. So they're hanging on to a little bit of removal there, and this Planeswalker finally gives them a target for it. They're going to be able to see a little bit off the top.
We'll just have to try again.
And they just get the Scrap Gorger. Well, that is one thing Bombardment does not like, but we do have some time to deal with it. And we do have Go for the Throat under here, too. So, really, an embarrassment of riches for us. I'm going to Siphon Insight here. I want to see what good stuff they've got that maybe we can use instead. Oh, we pick up another Siphon from the graveyard. Yep, we'll target them. We'll do Go for the Throat on the Scrap Gorger. Go on, tap it. There you go. And we will big score, finally discarding this swamp. Alright, couple of lands. Scrap Gorger is down. First Siphon Insight. Yeah, we'll take the Piper. The real Siphon Insight, just a forest. Come on. I'm looking for a tally here or something. Yeah, we'll just pass there. Another Bombardment, the draw. All right, well, really a number of ways we can go with this. So I think we're just going to Siphon Insight, just try and find something fun from our opponent's deck. And we know we have one under Bombardment too. That's going to give us a couple of looks at the top of their deck. Guess we will target them. We'll do it into the fire, do a little fake draw and discard, and then some big score. Couple of lands. that is not my definition of a big score. Let's toss those back with Into the Fire, along with another bombardment and another big score. I think that's our 4th Siphon Insight that we just drew here. All right, opponent shows us lands again. And Taxidermist and Loam Speaker. So where's all the where's all the high-end stuff? All right, good game, opponent. All right, we're going first. We got some early game spells and a Jaya plus big score. This looks pretty good. Started off with the lounge here. Our opponent's sporting the Mite pet mascot thingy. Very toothy. We're going to play Haunted Ridge. Fortunately, no way we can keep up interaction for our second turn. Opponent is on some black and green. Loam Speaker. Now, the Golgari color combo generally tends a little bit more control-y right now. So let's go ahead and zap this Loam Speaker. Gonna have to watch out for Terra Sunders, Bosejus, things that get rid of our big enchantment. Might have to try and lure some things out with Jaya. Get them to spend their cards on things we care less about. Well, we're at 4 mana, that is. Let's kill this Scrap Gorger. We could big score there, but yeah, I don't want them ramping in any Titans or... actually, this could be Phyrexian Obliterator, too. Okay, this might have Obliterators in it. Still not sure. Glissa, anyway, a bad thing versus our Bombardment deck. A real easy way for our opponent to get rid of our big, expensive enchantment. We're going to play Jaya here and just kind of stall it out a little bit. We're going to make a monk. So even if they remove our monk, they still can't take down Jaya with just an attack from this creature. We do have the option of using Fading Hope if we want to. But for the moment, I mean, we've got big score, we've got ways to draw. I think we're just going to keep trying to churn out monks with Jaya. Okay, Junji the Midnight Sky, that's going to be an issue. Yep, and they're going for Jaya with the attack here from Glissa. All right. Well, I think we can probably take the hit from Jaya. I just wanted to check those abilities one more time. Well, I might as well block. Yeah, so if we can get her up high enough to ult, that would be great. But with Junji on the board, I'm not sure that's going to happen. Although Gix's Command, not a bad draw. So we might just have to let Jaya go here. Let's big score. Get rid of Into the Fire. All right. So we've got our mana developing. We're going to make a monk with Jaya. Still not enough to take Jaya down through attacks alone for our opponent here, unless they can get rid of this monk. But this will definitely buy us a little time. Ah, there's the Obliterator. Okay. All right, so definitely have to watch things for... watch for things that let our opponent fight creatures. Let's bounce Junji back to our opponent's hand. And so we've just got Glissa coming at our face. We're going to take 3, and that ability is going to happen. And they're going to remove 3 counters from Jaya anyway. So that was kind of a nice little play from our opponent. They would have been able to get rid of Jaya if we had let them through, but I don't think they knew we had that Fading Hope. Alrighty. So we can make a monk. We can look for another spell or something to do off the top. We can try to go Gix's Command here. So we can't get rid of Glissa, but we can get rid of the Phyrexian without damage. So we can't clear their board, but we can at least gum up the works a little bit and prevent our opponent from making something fight that Obliterator. Great. All right, so Obliterator is down. We put a couple of counters on this monk. And we're going to give the monk a little bit of company.
Go on. Impress me.
Yeah, so unfortunately not great blocks. I guess let's get in here. Gain a little bit of life. If we keep both of these creatures back, it's not going to be the greatest defense against Glissa anyway. And we do need to close this game out at some point, so we might just have to get a couple of chip shots in here and then maybe try to burn him out later with Bombardment. Okay, Junji is back now. So Junji is going to be threatening to bring that Obliterator back. So hopefully we can find a way to exile that. All right, Glissa coming in. Let's block that. Opponent down to 2 cards. They don't know we're hanging on to 2 lands here, but at least trying to prevent them from drawing a little bit more. Lightning Strike could help get rid of Glissa. Or we could look for something to do with Jaya here. Let's take a look and see what we've got. We have enough mana actually to bombard and Lightning Strike. Oh, we pick up 2 lands off of Jaya's ability. All right, well, we'll play the swamp. Yeah, I guess we'll just pass it on back to our opponent here. So Jaya, very vulnerable. Lightning Strike could take care of Glissa, but we're still on the hook for the flying dragony thing. Opponent drawing with their Dross Pits. Dross? Dross? Still not sure how to say that. Bloated Contaminator coming down. See, black and green has some of like the best permanents. Just real... Each one is just a real thorn in the side of your opponent. Okay, so both creatures coming directly at us now. Not worrying about Jaya, although they could be counting on Glissa's ability to just take Jaya out. So since they did that, let's Lightning Strike Glissa. Alright, they've got instant Tail Swipe. But Glissa still goes down. And we take 5 from the dragon. And Jaya's still here. Into the fire, not much help. Let's take another look off the top. Okay, we get an impulse. Still not the greatest, but could find something. Big score and 3 lands. Let's take big score. All right, we're digging here. We're digging. So we've got big score and into the fire. We could just big score now. And then if we still draw nothing... Okay, there's a burn down the house, and we've got mana to cast it. We also have Arcane Bombardment. We could just bombard? Let's do this. So my reasoning here is if we can get Bombardment down and get it to stick, then we can start board wiping with impunity. And so even though Junji can bring things back like this second copy of Glissa, for example, or the other Obliterator, then we can at least get enough value going under Bombardment to hopefully get ourselves out of that situation, because we're kind of getting low on cards. So if this sticks, we might be able to get out of this. All right, just a land to draw. 2 sorceries in hand. I think what we need to do, though, is board wipe. Other option was just to try to draw into some instants. We pick up a Go for the Throat here. So we could hit Junji first, but we're just going to wipe this board. Yeah, because if we hit Junji first with that Go for the Throat, they get to bring the Obliterator back right into 5 points of damage from the burn down the house. Oh, they've got a second one. Okay. Well, I was really hoping to steal some of those with our Siphon Insight, but being at 7 life, I think we might have to dig for answers with Into the Fire. Okay, and Big Score 2 can also do the same thing. Let's do Into the Fire, though. Since Big Score's an instant, we can always use it on our opponent's turn if we get nothing here. Okay, we're going to go for the throat. This Obliterator, we're going to do Lightning Strike at our opponent. Bring them to 12. Slowly working them down here. All right. Well, let's put the Marsh back, see what we get. All right, we get a Lounge and a Fading Hope. Just need one thing to discard to big score, and we can always Fading Hope this Obliterator if they try to make it fight something, if they find a way to do damage to it, or if they make us do damage to it. Loam Speaker their play, and they're attacking for 5 here. We're going to big score. We've got Go for the Throat here under Bombardment. Let's see what else we pick up. Fading Hope. Well, instead, let's do Lightning Strike and Go for the Throat. Don't think we need to Fading Hope anything here. Yeah, can't think of anything we want to Fading Hope. So, Go for the Throat takes out the Obliterator for no damage. Lightning Strike is going to hit this Elf. Big score is hopefully going to give us some more to do. All right, Malfunction. Better against keeping us alive versus quick white or red decks, but we're just going to use it here and try to activate Bombardment again. Keep the card draw going. Keep throwing Lightning Strikes at our opponent. I mean, it's 3 damage a turn. We can definitely win a game this way. Opponent goes down to 9. And all right, opponent scoops it up. Good game. All right, we got a Siphon Insight in our opener. Malicious Malfunction. Going to need a little black mana to play that. But we're going first here, so hopefully we've got the time to find it. And if not, we can big score our way into it. Opponent on some black and green over there. Well, there's our second black source. We're going to pass it on back to the opponent. Oh, the Jund combination? Or what is this? Courier's Briefcase. All right, so this could be an Atraxa-based deck, some kind of 5-color list. Still hard to say at this point, but let's just fire off a Siphon Insight, see if we can't steal something, get an idea what they're working with over there. Invasion of Ikoria and Scrap Gorger. Search your library, okay, and then they get this big creature if they can flip it. So feels a little rampy. We'll take the Scrap Gorger. All right, let's get down that. We will play Scrap Gorger. So this will give us a little protection if they're trying to reanimate anything like an Atraxa. We can hopefully pluck it out of the graveyard, or at least threaten the ability to do so. Opponent with a 3rd land here. Courier's Briefcase on the board. And they go Loam Speaker. Oh, and they've got a cut down for our stolen Scrap Gorger. That's too bad. All right, we're taking 1 from this Citizen. Shipwreck Marsh, the draw for us. Well, I think we pass it on over here. Try to get away with a big score. Malicious Malfunction, not that great at this moment. And this will help us build up to a burn down the house if we need some kind of reset button. Tribute to the World Tree. Okay. Really, really solid card, that one. So it makes your terrible early game creatures pretty decent and keeps your hand full if you can cast something a little bit bigger. Let's big score here. We're going to discard... Yeah, let's discard this river. All right, of course, no land. And another big score. All right, well, let's try again. I think now we're going to discard this Malfunction. We pick another one up. There's the land we need. Trying to dig our way into a nice Chandra or Bombardment here, and maybe reuse some Siphon Insight. Plaza of Heroes, and then a Glissa Sunseeker for our opponent. Long-time enemy of Bombardment, that creature. And that lets them draw with the Tribute. Yeah, that is very good. All right, Loam Speaker going to turn this Springs into a 3/3 creature. Opponent threatening to hit us for 4 here. I think we can handle that. Dropping down to 14. Opponent says that's all they want to do for now. We draw a Shipwreck Marsh. Let's wipe this board with a little burn down the house here. Just so that when we finally do draw something good, Glissa does not immediately take it away from us. There's the backup copy for our opponent. Tribute gives them another card off the top. And opponent looks like just passing it on back, so we're going to big score here. Use some of our treasures to do so. And as for discards, we're going to drop this other malfunction in the grave. There's a bombardment finally. So let's go Shipwreck Marsh. Let's do bombardment. That leaves us with 3 mana here. Just looking at our odds here. So there's a couple of bombardments. Let's try this now. We know we don't want Glissa to stick around. We pick up Burn Down the House. I was trying to pick up a big score there, and then we could Siphon Insight on our opponent's turn, but, you know, this'll do for now. Devils for us. We're going to attack with 2 of those. Leave 1 back, just in case. It's the super cautious part of me. You never know if McLantern over here is going to have a hasty creature for us. All right, Llanowar Loam Speaker. Becomes a 2-mana 3/5 with that enchantment on the board. Not too bad. All right, well, let's do Burn Down the House again. We're actually going to choose Devils for this one, because that's going to start the stack going. And we've got another Burn Down the House under there. We pick up Siphon as well. That's fantastic. So this bombardment here, this Burn Down the House, that's going to clear the board. It wipes our Devils, unfortunately, but we still get the damage out of them since that's what they do. And what we can do then... Oh, we pick up a Sheoldred from our opponent. See, that's what I'm looking for. And then finally our Devils land, and the opponent's had enough. All right, good game. Okay, a little land light here, but there's potential to be good. We just need 1 land. I feel like I say this a lot. We just need 1 land for it to be good. Well, we find the land, so we can start using Into the Fire and Big Score to kind of churn through the rest of our deck a little bit. Got a nice Malicious Malfunction here. If this is soldiers or anything quick... Ooh, there's Thalia. Gonna have to get rid of her before we can do any kind of board wiping. Let's play out our slow tap land so that we can get rid of Thalia as soon as possible. We'll see what else they've got for us here. Oh, Adeline instantly gets a creature on the board with that for free and drops us to 17. Okay, so... we're going to go for the throat here. We're going to get rid of Adeline. Yes. So I think this makes sense. So even though Thalia's still on the board, we can still Malicious Malfunction on 4, and they might throw another couple of small creatures out here. Okay, this isn't bad. So Intrepid Adversary, they're going to be able to use its ability. We're going to take 5 damage here and drop to 12. But now, yeah, even though it costs a little more... we can still wipe the board here. We're going to use Into the Fire. No need to malfunction this stuff. Although thinking about it now, I'm not sure what white would have that needs exiling. All right, Anointed Peacekeeper for our opponent. They named Chandra Hope's Beacon. Okay. So Chandra going to be a little expensive. We're going to discard 1 of these big scores to another big score. We see a Siphon Insight and pick up a Shipwreck Marsh. Pass it on back to our opponent here, sitting at 12 life. They might have like Gobakhan and some more disruption. All right, they play a Cathar and an empty board though. So they might be trying to finish us off, and they might not have anything that great left in their hand. We draw a land. Let's clear things up here. Give us a little breathing room with a burn down the house. And then I think we're just going to pass it on over there. Guardian of New Benalia. What was I just saying about things in white that need exiling? All right, and they played that into this board knowing we have Malfunction. So what we're going to do here, we're going to play out Chandra. We're going to have Chandra plus. Chandra's going to give us some mana. And then we're going to big score because she's going to be able to copy this, give us a bunch of treasures, and draw us a whole bunch of cards. And still probably be out of range of the Guardian's attack. We'll discard Siphon here because we can always recast that. There's Bombardment. Might even be able to just pick that Siphon back up for free. Big score, and Gix's command the draw from the other big score. 5 mana left over here. Yeah, I think we can afford to pass this one back. So the way Enlist works, they need something else that does not have Summoning Sickness to pump that creature up. So Chandra might take a little hit here, or they could just be focused on trying to finish us off. Recruitment Officer, the play though. Going to help them find some other things to do. Let's do Lightning Strike on this Guardian, just to see if we can make him just discard something. And we know we get a free copy of a Chandra anyway. All right, so they discard a Cathar. Probably wise. We're not giving them any targets for that. And the second Lightning Strike, well, we could just go to the face. Suppose we could have targeted the officer there. They might have been able to use that ability in response, though. All right, well, either way, that might not have been the best, but we're still starting the show off here. We're going to add some mana with Chandra, bring her up to 9. We're going to go Malicious Malfunction. It's going to get copied, but that's okay. And opponent scoops it up. Must not have much left. Good game.